Welcome to Level 2. In this lesson, we're going to begin progressing beyond the Level 1 exercises. At this point, many people notice that their pain has started to settle and that symptoms feel more like stiffness or tightness rather than sharp pain. This is a good sign. Now that the shoulder is less irritated, we can begin safely introducing light strengthening movements. The goal in Level 2 is to rebuild strength, control, and endurance in the rotator cuff without overloading it. These exercises are intentionally moderate. You're not trying to push through pain or fatigue, but mild effort is expected. Sharp pain or lingering soreness is not. Use pain as your guide, keep discomfort at or below a 3 out of 10, and your shoulder should feel the same or better later that day or the next day. Take your time with this level. Some people move through it quickly, while others benefit from spending more time here. Both are completely normal. Focus on controlled movement, good form, and how your shoulder responds. That's how we set the foundation for more advanced strengthening in Level 3. So you've been doing isometrics, now it's time to progress into higher level movements. Let's start talking about just an active external rotation. This is a great exercise we can use to start to strengthen our rotator cuff. For this one, you'll need a towel and some bands at home. All you're going to do is roll up a towel. It's going to go underneath your elbow. The towel is very important. A lot of the research out there shows you actually get more blood flow to your rotator cuff if you have a towel as opposed to not having a towel. I always recommend starting with the lightest band that you have and then gradually working your way up. I'm going to take the band. My thumb is facing towards the ceiling. I'm starting at about my belly button, and then I'm just rotating out. Keeping nice, good posture, rotating out. I might feel a nice light burn in my shoulder. You're going to repeat this 2 sets of 10, and you can do it 2 to 3 days a week in the program that you're creating here. Let's go over an active internal rotation now. It's another great way that we can start to strengthen our rotator cuff. It's just going to be the opposite of what you just did. You're going to need a towel. The towel is going to go underneath your elbow. You're going to start with the lightest band, and then you're just going to go from out to in, keeping nice, good posture. This one's going to be easier than the external rotation. That's because the muscles that internally rotate our shoulder are much bigger than the muscles that externally rotate our shoulder. So if it's not as challenging as the first one, that's okay. It's not going to be. You're going to repeat 2 sets of 10, and you can do this 2 to 3 days a week in the program that you're creating here. Let's talk about rows. Rows work our mid and low traps. While this isn't our rotator cuff, it's important to have a nice, stable, strong base in our back to help support our shoulder. So I want to touch on it here in Level 2. To do a row, you're going to take the band. Your arms are going to start straight, and then you're just pulling in towards your trunk, keeping your forearms parallel to the ground. So you're pulling in, shoulder blades squeeze back and back out. 2 common mistakes with this are shrugging up like that. You want to keep your shoulders down, or kind of pulling kind of like that towards your pockets. You want to keep your arms nice and parallel to the ground and pull in and back out. You're going to repeat 2 sets of 10, and you're going to do that 2 to 3 days a week in the program that you're creating here. Let's go over lateral raises. So we're still progressing from the isometrics into more active movement now. To do a lateral raise, you always start with a very light weight. Here I only have a 1-pound weight, and then you gradually work your way up. To do a lateral raise, I'm starting with the weights at my side. I'm keeping my thumbs towards the ceiling, and then I'm lifting up to about shoulder height, and then I'm coming back down. That's 1, 2. You're going to shoot for 2 sets of 10. The big mistake people make with this exercise is keeping their palms towards the floor like we discussed earlier in the program. If you lift like this, you're actually lifting into an impingement, and you're likely to injure your shoulder. So keep those thumbs up towards the ceiling. You can even wrap your thumbs around as long as your palm is facing that way. You're going to do 2 sets of 10, and you can repeat this 2 to 3 days a week in the program that you're creating here. Let's go over a farmer's walk. This is a great way that we can indirectly work our rotator cuff and start to turn it on again and start to load it. To do a farmer's walk, here I have a light kettlebell. You can use a dumbbell or really anything that simulates it. All you're going to do is just hold the weight and walk. So I'm just walking. Usually what I recommend is setting a timer for 2 minutes and then just walking with a comfortable load in your affected arm. This will indirectly engage our rotator cuff, and it's a great way that we can start to strengthen our shoulder. You're going to do this 2 to 3 days a week in the program that you're creating here.